and cries about his problems.
That's materialistic. You know,
being a man is hard.
in many words, if you can't eating wise after going through what
100%. I remember even too, you said,
yeah, and you know, us casual people.
but with that being said, like if it's
degraded for some reason. I don't know if money.
We are live here, back with Brothers United Roundtable, y'all. We are back with another video. Today, man, we're gonna do a little result on the video. We're gonna break down this debate, not the whole thing. Some of it, we're gonna point out some pinpoints of what's going on in the world. You know, point out the hypocrisy of both candidates. We gotta speak it, but let's check it out, man. You know, even though I am for Trump 2025, let's get it.
We know that we have a shortage of homes and housing, and the cost of housing is too expensive for far too many people. We know that young families need support to raise their children, and I intend on extending a tax cut for those families of $6,000, which is the largest child tax credit that we have given in a long time, so that those young families can afford to buy a crib, buy a car seat, buy clothes for their children. My passion, one of them, is small businesses. My mother raised my sister and me, but there was a woman who helped raise us. We call her our second mother. She was a small business owner. I love our small businesses. My plan is to give a $50,000 tax deduction to start up small businesses, knowing they are part of the backbone of America's economy. My opponent, on the other hand, his plan...
Wait a minute. Harrison, we got to stop you, Kamala. Listen. If you don't know, you should know that during COVID, a lot of small businesses went out of business because of COVID. Now, you became president around that time during COVID, right? Well, vice president, my bad. You was vice president, you know, with Joe Biden over there being president. Why you didn't do that when y'all was doing the president thing? You know, you still the president now. You had 4 years to help these small businesses. So a lot of small businesses went out of business because of COVID. Why you didn't do it now? See, this is what people got to understand. Look at this. You, Kamala Harris, my bad. You, right? You was vice president for 4 years. You talking about your passion. If that was your passion, y'all would have been doing that during the 4 years you was vice president in office. And you can say vice president ain't got that many power, but you got some type of say-so to tell Joe Biden what you would like done. Come on now. Don't play with it. You know what I'm saying? Don't play with it. You can run game all the slow people in the back, but the intelligent people, man, they got a good mind. We know what's going on.
Is to do what he has done before, which is to provide a tax cut for billionaires and big corporations, which will result in $5 trillion to America's deficit. My opponent has a plan that I call the Trump sales tax, which would be a 20% tax on everyday goods that you rely on to get through the month. Economists have said that Trump sales tax would actually result for middle-class families in about $4,000 more a year because of his policies and his ideas about what should be the backs of middle-class people paying for tax cuts for billionaires.
President Trump, I'll give you 2 minutes.
First of all, I have no sales tax. That's an incorrect statement. She knows that. We're doing tariffs on other countries. Other countries are going to finally, after 75 years, pay us back for all that we've done for the world. And the tariff will be substantial in some cases. I took in billions and billions of dollars, as you know, from China. In fact, they never took the tariff off because it was so much money they can't. It would totally destroy everything that they've set out to do. They're taking in billions of dollars from China and other places. They've left the tariffs on. When I had tariffs, and yet I had no inflation. Look, we've had a terrible economy because inflation which is really known as a country buster. It breaks up countries. We have inflation like very few people have ever seen before, probably the worst in our nation's history. We were at 21%, but that's being generous because many things are 50, 60, 70, and 80% higher than they were just a few.
Donald Trump is preaching. When we talk about inflation today, man, it's ridiculous, man. I remember doing COVID, talking about COVID prices, right? Before, after, once COVID hit, after COVID, things got crazy, right? Doing COVID, after COVID, right? My apartment, my one bedroom apartment, doing COVID was like $700. After COVID, when Tweedle and Dumb got in office, Kamala and Sleepy Joe got in office, shit, my stuff went up, what, 12, 13, 1400 for a one bedroom? Yeah, it's bad. Not to mention car insurance these days. No, we don't want to talk about car insurance. You might as well say you're paying a car note, another car note on top of your car. So I don't know why you smiling, Kamala, because this is truth. This ain't false. People are really struggling today. And not to mention going into the grocery store. We can't talk about that. We know how bad that is. Let's continue.
Years ago. This has been a disaster for people, for the middle class, but for every class. On top of that, we have millions of people pouring into our country from prisons and jails, from mental institutions and insane asylums, and they're coming in and they're taking jobs that are occupied right now by African Americans and Hispanics, and also unions. Unions are going to be affected very soon. And you see what's happening. You see what's happening with towns throughout the United States. You look at Springfield, Ohio. You look at Aurora.
Let's talk about it. He's about to tell you. Springfield, Ohio. The Venezuelan crisis. What's going on over there? We got to speak about these things, man, because this is real. All thanks to Kamala and Joe Biden. This is what people got to understand. You got to look at what they are doing now. Why would you vote and put Kamala in office again? I don't care if she was vice president, she wasn't the president. She still got some say-so. Why would you put her back in office again after she did the country so bad? People got to think about that. You know what I'm saying? If you compare Donald Trump to Biden and Kamala, man, Donald Trump is like the sweetheart of America, if you want to do a comparison. And this is the truth. And the people who going through the stuff in Ohio is crazy. These people holding people hostage in their own place of living. All thanks to Kamala and Biden. You can thank them, by the way.
In Colorado, they are taking over the towns. They're taking over buildings. They're going in violently. These are the people that she and Biden led into our country, and they're destroying our country. They're dangerous. They're at the highest level of criminality. And we have to get them out. We have to get them out fast. I created one of the greatest economies in the history of our country. I'll do it again and even better.
We are going to get to immigration and border security during this debate, but I would like to let Vice President Harris respond on the economy here.
Well, I would love to. Let's talk about what Donald Trump left us. Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment since the Great Depression. Donald Trump left.
I don't know nothing about that. He ain't leave us with no massive unemployment. I don't know about being unemployed with Donald Trump. I was working all through Donald Trump. Money was good. I got to be honest about that. We got to be honest today, and that's what we got to talk about if you're voting. Don't vote off emotions. Vote off policies. Vote off what the person have done in the past and what he's going to continue to do. Now, if you vote for Kamala, if you look at what her resume was in the past, being the president right now, vice president, well, she's the president, she's supposed to take over Joe Biden's spot. Look at what they doing. Right now, as I speak, you are the president. What are you doing? See what I'm talking about? There's nothing getting done. So when you talk about stuff like that, that's what you have to vote on. Don't vote on skin color. Okay? Don't vote on because she's a woman. Okay? Vote on policies. This is what matters. I'm just saying.
Us the worst public health epidemic in a century. Donald Trump left us the worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War. And what we have done is clean up Donald Trump's mess. What we have done and what I intend to do is build on what we know are the aspirations and the hopes of.
Hold up, clean up Donald Trump's mess. What mess did he make? The only thing you did was create a mess, Kamala. You and Joe Biden. Y'all created 2 wars. 2 wars. Come on now. You created 2 wars and you talking about a mess? You the mess. You the problem. You and Sleepy Joe. This is problematic, man. And people have to see this, man, for what it is. Not for what you want it to be, but for what it is and what's going on right now. You got 2 wars, you got inflation up to the wazoo. You got come on, man, this is a mess. Which I want them to create more of a mess, because that's what they're gonna do.
American people, but I'm going to tell you all in this debate tonight, you're going to hear from the same old tired playbook, a bunch of lies, grievances, and name-calling. What you're going to hear tonight is a detailed and dangerous plan called Project 2025 that the former president intends on implementing if he were elected again. I believe
Project 2025 is a bunch of load of crap. I promise you it is, man. I'm just being honest. All Project 2025 is doing is pushing on and pulling on women's heartstrings to make them more upset so they can vote for Kamala, man. That's all it's about. It's about getting votes, man. It's propaganda. I'm telling you, man. They don't want this brother in office, man. I'm just trying to keep it real with y'all, man. Y'all got to see this.
very strongly that the American people want a president who understands the importance of bringing us together, knowing we have so much more in common than what separates us. And I pledge to you to be a president for all Americans.
President Trump will give you a minute here to respond.
Number one, I have nothing to do, as you know, and as she knows better than anyone, I have nothing to do with Project 2025. That's out there. I haven't read it. I don't want to read it purposely. I'm not going to read it. This was a group of people that got together. They came up with some ideas, I guess some good, some bad, but it makes no difference. I have nothing to do. Everybody knows I'm an open book. Everybody knows what I'm going to do. Cut taxes very substantially and create a great economy like I did before. We had the greatest economy. We got hit with a pandemic. And the pandemic was not since 1917, where 100 million people died, has there been anything like it. We did a phenomenal job with the pandemic. We handed them over a country where the economy and where the stock market was higher than it was before the pandemic came in. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. We made ventilators for the entire world. We got gowns, we got masks, we did things that nobody thought possible. And people give me credit for rebuilding the military. They give me credit for a lot of things, but not enough credit for the great job we did with the pandemic. But the only jobs they got were bounce back jobs. These were jobs bounce back, and it bounced back and it went to their benefit. But I was the one that created them. They know it, and so does everybody else.
Vice President Harris.
I want to close it off because we are running out of time here. But I want to say this to people. Just on this little short video, right? You know, more stuff went over that. But just over this just small video, you see the Project 2025 was propaganda. Of course, a smearing campaign to destroy Donald Trump, right? So, you know, like I said, to pull on women's heartstrings. He right. The economy was great. We was not in wars. That's what people got to look at. What happened when he was in office? Stop caring about red or blue. Look at your life and what benefited your life. Was your life destroyed? You know, did you make money? Was we in wars? Was the economy good? Right? If the economy was good, people was making money, right? We wasn't going to war. Inflation wasn't stupid. Then you already know who to vote for. You already seen what Kamala and Kamala and Joe Biden, you already seen what they capable of. You already seen their reputation. You see their reputation. You see what they have already done and what they doing right now, right? So you got to judge your voting on policy and what they have done in the past. And both have proven, one have proven himself, Donald Trump, and Kamala and Joe Biden have not proven themselves. They have got us in 2 wars. You see what I'm saying? The inflation is on the all-time high. They're bringing over illegal immigrants, man. That's robbing people in Colorado, man. Robbing people in the place of where they live, taking over apartment complexes. People are suffering and dying because of Kamala and Joe Biden. You got to look at that. And that should tell you who you're going to vote for. And that's a fact.